Fighters ready. Engage.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Who be 186 back again with another podcast. This is the Overrated Podcast Overtime Edition. This is going to be our reaction to the NBA Finals. It is now official. The Golden State Warriors are your 2022 NBA champions. Steph Curry is your 2022 Finals MVP. Finally, he gets his first one, and we will be breaking it all down here. Like I said, I'm Movie 186, and this is my co-host, Traditionalist 101.
The Traditionalist 101 here at your service, ladies and gentlemen. As I said since the very beginning of the season, I told you so, and I told you so, and I told you so. Well, at least kind of, because I said since the very beginning that the best players were either between Giannis and Steph Curry. And right now, it is time to say Steph Curry is undisputedly the best player in the league right now. Steph
Who,
Curry.
who, who did you say was going to win the championship? Do you remember?
Golden State.
You said Golden State.
Yeah.
We have proof of this. We have audio of this.
I said Boston?
No, you didn't say Boston.
Oh, then who did I say?
If I'm not mistaken, I think I have to look back on the podcast to see, but it was you. I'm sure you said. I'm sure you said Brooklyn.
No. That was the time when James Harden was still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the time James Harden was still there.
Yeah, but that's still a prediction.
Yeah, but James Harden left.
Okay, and that's still a prediction. Like
No.
with that said, I do have. I'm gonna look back on the podcast and because I know we did an NBA preview. I don't know.
I could have sworn you said Brooklyn.
I might have. Like I have to look back. I have to look back and watch. But you sitting there gloating about I told you so. I told you so. But when it comes to this series, what did I say in the beginning? Warriors in 6. That's what I said. And I was right. I was right.
That's fine.
And really how it happened is not it really isn't as different as I envisioned. Like the reason why I picked the Warriors was because they have their team that is potent offensively, while Boston will make it difficult on them. They weren't going to make it. It wasn't going to be impossible. It wasn't going to be impossible. What was surprising was the performance of everybody outside of Steph Curry in the first, I would probably say 4 games. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It was literally Curry and nobody else. Right? But as we're going to do the screen share today, we go do that right now. And then you can look back. You can even go back to Game 5 on this. Everybody showed up. Let's go to.
Whoa, hold on. Let's you know what? No. You know how about
Okay.
Let me call you out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where were you and what were you doing when the game was actually starting?
When the game was starting, I was ready to watch the game. I was laying down in the bed, getting ready to watch the game.
And what happened?
I fell asleep.
You fell asleep. So did you watch the game?
No.
No, you didn't watch the game. No, you didn't watch the game. No, I watched the game. You didn't watch the game. You fell asleep.
Okay.
You fell asleep.
Okay. But I watched the highlights and pretty much, like I pretty much
have. I don't want to hear that crap. You watched the highlights. Come on, man.
I did watch the highlights.
Yeah,
so
some NBA fan you are.
Again, like I've been told you, like I'm a Heat fan through and through. Like the only reason why I watched these last couple games was because the games were more at stake for these games.
Hmm.
So that's why I watched the games. But like I said, I mean, I didn't say anything that was wrong. Like pretty much everyone showed up. You know, what I mean, if you look at the games right here, Steph Curry obviously Finals MVP, 34, 7 and 7, phenomenal. You know what I mean? Then you look at Andrew Wiggins continued his great play, 18 points. Draymond gave you pretty much this was probably Draymond's best game. He
Yes,
was
it was.
12 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. That's what you get from Draymond. You know what I mean? And, you know, Clay was fine. He didn't need to do too much. And Jordan Poole, who had struggled in the series, you know, gave you 15 points. You know what I mean? Like it was a good performance by them. And then let me look at the Boston Celtics. Now, well,
Tatum did not
okay,
play well at all.
yeah, true.
I'm
But,
not.
okay,
I'm not looking at that dude. Did not play well at all.
yeah, but okay. Do you want to? Do you want to? What do you want to do first? You want to concentrate on the Warriors, give them flowers right now, or you want to crush Tatum?
Let's give them their flowers.
Okay. All right. Before we get to Boston, right? Props to Steph Curry. Props to the Warriors. They won their fourth. I'll bring this back up. They win their fourth NBA championship in 8 years. Right. I don't know how many they have now in total, but this is a sign of a good organization. Like you go. Not only do you go over, you have the injuries to Clay, the two bad knee injuries to Clay. You know, Steph Curry was dealing with injuries at the time. You lose Kevin Durant. You
Which
you
is
know,
no.
pretty much,
Which is no big deal.
it is a big deal. What are you stupid? That is a big deal.
It's no big deal.
It is a big deal.
It's no big deal.
Yeah, it is.
They were doing just as they were doing just fine without him. No big deal.
Oh yeah, they were doing just as fine with him. They didn't go to the playoff for 2 years.
They did just fine
They
without.
didn't go to the playoff for 2 years.
Where are they now?
Okay,
Let's
well, I'm
let's
talking about. I'm talking about at the
on them
time.
now.
I'm
Let's
talking about at the time.
on them
No,
now.
I'm talking about at the time. At the time, you lose Durant. He leaves. They and then you have all these other stuff that's going on with them. But you know what happened? They didn't waver. They stuck to their plan. They paid their players, the one that they drafted, and they got very good pieces around their core, right? The development of Jordan Poole, them trading for Andrew Wiggins. It was a great climb back to the top for that organization. And that's when you know how good of an organization is, right? Because remember, when I'll use Miami as an example. LeBron leaves Miami, right? People just think, oh, because LeBron left that's why we didn't win. That's not entirely true. That's not entirely the case. What happened afterwards? LeBron leaves, and then the moment we drafted, the moment that we traded for Goran Dragic, I'll never forget that day. Right?
Yeah, me too.
We traded for Goran Dragic. Everyone was happy. Right? We're like, oh crap! Now we're going after Cleveland. We're going after Cleveland. Then come to find out, Chris Bosh had the blood clot.
Yeah.
He was out for the rest of the year. Right? You deal with LeBron leaving.
Then he had it again.
Yeah, and the blood clots, and then pretty much his career ends. So you're looking at a guy who was a near 7 footer, who was obviously developing into a great 3 point shooter, a guy who was already a very good defender, and you lose that. You lose a vital part of what made the big three great. You lose that, then they trade Dwayne Wade, then and then they struggled to get back to the top until they brought back Jimmy. Then first thing first, Dwayne Wade come back first last year. Then you trade for Jimmy Butler, right? And it gets meet with ridicule from the Philly fans, national media, and then you do that. You pretty much rebuild around your the guys that you drafted, and then the pandemic happens, and then come to find out, the Heat become a juggernaut in the playoffs and reach the finals where they get snake bitten by the two of your best players getting hurt in the finals. right? But they made it there without LeBron, without all the hype and bullshit of the big three and stuff like that. They got back. That shows you what a great organization Miami is, and they were a shot away from getting back from going back to the finals. And the
They weren't,
Warriors,
they weren't going to be Golden State anyway.
if the guys if Lowry and Hero could get healthy, I actually think they were giving this team a better fight. To be honest with you, because Miami style, Miami can play with Golden State like a lot of the same thing that Boston does. Miami can do too defensively. And do I think Golden State obviously was still going to be the favorite, and they probably would have won. But Miami would have given them just as much of a shake. And I don't think that your best player would have disappeared the way that Jason Tatum did. But we'll get back to him later, right? But to me, this is what a winning organization does, right? They do everything in their power to make their team great.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Golden State Warriors are, and they deserve their flowers. And Steph Curry deserves his flowers. Like I said, he didn't need to win the Finals MVP for me to look at him as an all-time great. He was already that already. But you can't tell me winning a fourth title, finally having now you have league MVP and final MVPs in your resume. That's to me that's top 10 worthy. That's top 10 worthy. And I said it on the podcast on Wednesday. I'm gonna say it today. He's going to be a top 10 player in this league history by the time it's said and done. Easy. Easy.
Yeah.
What you got to say?
No, for first I want to say is I've always knew that Steph Curry was eventually going to dominate the league. It was just unfortunate that Klay Thompson got hurt,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to him. He made it all the way back and they're champions again. So I props to Klay Thompson.
yeah, props to Klay. He didn't really have a fantastic series like he usually
Yeah,
does,
he didn't need to.
but he did a very good job this last game. Game 6, he did a fairly good job. Played defense, really well. But the other guy, you're gonna have to give Wiggins. Man, that dude was sensational. Also, that dude was sensational. And when it comes to Golden State, right? I
Yeah,
love the fact.
hold on. Before you go, let me hold that thought. Let me give Andrew Wiggins his praise because he too didn't want to take the vaccine, right? He didn't want to take the vaccine, but he made the sacrifice for the betterment of the team, and look where it got him, an NBA championship. Props to Andrew Wiggins. Props to Andrew Wiggins.
So what you're insinuating that taking the vaccine is always the best option?
No, if you have to do
That is what you're saying.
if you're going to sacrifice for the betterment of the team, you do it, and that's what he did.
I knew that's where you were going. I knew it.
Props to him because like I said, he didn't want to take it. The leadership of the team got together and they told him they explained to him, man, listen, like this thing is likely not going to hurt you. So like whatever religious belief that you have, all of a sudden, bro, you got to put that out the window. If you want to win, sacrifice for the betterment of the team. Everyone else is doing it, and that's what he did. And he became an NBA champion because of it. And played. And you could argue he was their second best player in the series. So props to Andrew Wiggins. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, he's absolutely did a very good job. But I really want to stick to Steph Curry first because he's obviously the final MVP.
Mm-hmm.
The guy was 12 for 21, so he had a very good overall field goal percentage. He was also 4 for 4 on the free throw line, shooting 100%. Not a surprise at all. Not a surprise. And what I appreciate so much about this guy is you see when Kevin Durant was in that team, like I said, I thought those 2 3 years we were robbed because we no longer got to see the dominance of Steph Curry because it was being obscured now that Kevin Durant was also in that team. But once he left, even when he didn't make the playoffs, you saw how dominant that dude could be. You know what I mean? Again, it was just unfortunate that Klay Thompson was out,
Hmm.
and really, it was pretty much Steph Curry and nobody else. I
Yeah.
mean, he didn't have anybody else. But he didn't cry like everybody else. He didn't cry like LeBron James. He wasn't crying like Kevin Durant. He wasn't crying and causing drama like Ben Simmons or like James Harden, asking, "Oh, I want to leave." No, he stuck it out.
Yeah.
He trusts the process, and look where that got him.
It's true.
He continued to play basketball. He wasn't whining and crying and oh, I don't have enough help. I don't have enough help. He didn't do any of that garbage. What he did was he continued to play basketball, continued to get better, and he trusts the organization to do their job. And now, because of that, he's an NBA champion. And I appreciate someone like that. You know, because what you're basically saying is you want to be the best guy, you want to compete, you don't want to take any shortcuts. And to me now, if you want to say I'm being hyperbolic about this, that's fine. But to me, Steph Curry and Giannis are the two guys. Not only are they the best, I said they were the best players in the league, but I think those two guys has also brought back the culture where it used to be. Because Giannis started it first, where he said he doesn't want to join super teams and things like that. He started all that talk first and calling guys out. Well, he didn't call out LeBron and KD and everybody else, but you knew who he was talking about. Like you knew who he was talking about when he said he didn't want to join super teams. And then when you have Steph Curry that said, no, I'm not interested, in playing, with LeBron, he's happy where he's at right now, and he wants to win that way. I think what those two guys did and said will pretty much bring back the competition without having super teams all over the place. To me, that whole super team garbage nonsense ruins basketball for me. It ruins competition. But Steph Curry, like I said before, he trusts the process, he trusts the organization, and he went out there and competed and he won without Kevin Durant twice, twice. So for me, that also solidifies that he is the best player in the league. He was the best player in the league back in 2015. Now, I also thought he was the best player back in 2016 until LeBron James won the championship. Then you could say that LeBron James took over. But for me, I always thought that he was at the very least the top five, maybe top three, maybe top six, seven player of all time. I mean, not of all time, but in the league. And right now, he's the best player in the league right now. As of right now, he is the number one player in the whole wide world. Steph Curry is. Not Giannis, not Kevin Durant, not Kawhi, not LeBron James. It's Steph Curry. Giannis is number two. He's like right there, like a close second. But right now, I have to give the dude his props. I got to give him his props. The fact that he was able to beat this Boston team, an outstanding defensive team, that he was still able to dominate that game that I watched. Every time when that dude shot the three, you could see everybody's face. They were completely demoralized. Like, we're double teaming this dude. He's able to get out of double teams. He's setting up all these screens, and they still can't stop the guy. This is what I mean by when you're dominating, the whole entire league to where the point where there's really nothing that the teammates could do, the defense could do. They're trying to guard him beyond the 3 point line, and that still didn't work. So I got to give this dude his props. 4-time champion. Now he's a Finals MVP, 2-time league MVP, and a unanimous MVP. Dude, he is one of the best of the best. And right now, I'm putting him in the top 10. And unfortunately, the person that I have to remove, and we'll go back to that discussion later on when we start talking about Boston. But the person I'm going to have to remove, I hate to do this, but I think I'm going to have to remove Will Chamberlain.
You're removing Will Chamberlain.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Will Chamberlain going to have to step aside.
Let me do something real quick. Hold on a second. Let me do something.
Well, actually, you know what? No, I changed my mind.
Hmm.
Will Chamberlain stays. I'm removing Akeem Olajuwon.
Hold on a second. Let me do something. All right. I'm just gonna pick a random. Let me pick a random.
What are you doing?
Hold on. I'm just picking a random image. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Did you send me the link? So I could send it to people. I don't think you did.
oh yeah, I didn't know my bad. Hold on. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Hold on.
My goodness, I can't believe that dude did it again, man. That
I don't
dude
know.
did it again.
Okay.
My goodness, bro. My goodness. So, while you're doing your thing, I need to ask you the question:
Mm-hmm.
Is he better? Is he the best player in the league right now?
It's hard to argue.
No, 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 no. That's the answer that I want to hear. That's not the answer I want
What
to hear.
argue? Like, I,
Is
bro.
is
Like, I already told you how I work. I don't work. I don't work in the same space that you do.
no, 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 no. Who's the champion?
All right. It don't matter who's champion. Like I said, I given you these examples already. Like I'm not going by a guy winning a guy winning a championship. I'm not doing that.
Wait a minute.
More than that.
What?
It's more than that.
It's more than winning. Dude, heaven no. I think you should stop right now because the championship is the ultimate goal. What are you
That's
talking
fine.
about?
That's fine. But like I said before, you have teams before who's won championships where they beaten a team that had a better player. Now in this series, yeah, Curry was easily the best player in the series by far, by far. But if I'm going to start a franchise with a player, and I already told, I've been said this. I've been said this. There's two guys I'm picking, right? And right now I'm leaning more towards Giannis than Kevin Durant. But those are the two guys I'm starting my teams with. Doesn't mean that it don't mean that like what's his name, like it doesn't mean Steph Curry's not great. He absolutely is great. If you want to say that he's the best player in the world, I'm not going to argue with you over that. I'm not arguing with you over that. But my litmus for who the best player is who's the player you start a franchise with. And the person I start a franchise with is Giannis or Kevin Durant. That's who I'm starting my franchise with. I don't go by, oh well, this player is the best player on the best team, so I'm gonna pick him. No, I don't do that. I don't do that. And I use this example all the time. Dallas and Miami, when Dallas won the championship, right? I definitely wouldn't argue that that Dirk Nowitzki is the best player in the world. Absolutely not. We all know who the best player in the world is. And if he played half as good as he could, Miami would have won that series easily. So why am I picking why am I picking Dirk Nowitzki when everyone knows that LeBron James is the best player in the world, and frankly, I wouldn't pick Dirk over D Wade either.
I would.
You're crazy.
I would.
You're nuts.
No, I would.
You're nuts. You're absolutely nuts.
I certainly would. Absolutely.
You're
Absolutely.
crazy. Anyways, here's just a random top 10 list right here. Right, this is ESPN last year. Right,
I
Michael
think
one.
you should get the one from this year because Shaq wasn't on that one.
Well, I can't find which one. I can't find which because it changes all the time, and every publication has a different one. The only thing I'm just going by the first thing that I see, and this is the first one that I see.
but it's not accurate because
I,
that's not the current top 10.
everyone's different. Everyone's different. I'm sure there's like two of them on ESPN. This is the one that I see.
Aren't you always talking about how important that we need to be accurate? Aren't you aren't you the one
Accurate
that
when it comes to what an opinion?
aren't you the one that always say that it's important to have accuracy?
Accuracy on what
This is not
opinion?
ESPN's current top 10.
Well, I don't know what their current top 10 is. This is from last year, and everyone at ESPN has a different one. It's not there's nothing that's official now
I
unless
think
you can find it.
I think
You can post it up there.
I think they instead of Shaq, who was the other one? Oscar Robinson, I think it was.
I think it was another publication that had Oscar Robinson in top 10, but like I said, I'm not sure. I just picked a random top 10.
Hmm.
I just picked a random top 10. Right, Michael, LeBron, Kareem, Bill, Magic, Wilt, Bird, Duncan, Kobe, Shaq. Who are you removing? Then putting Steph Curry on there because Steph Curry has to be in here. Steph Curry has to be in the top 10. He
Hmm.
will be in the top 10. But this based simply on this list, who you're removing?
I'm I unfortunately I'm gonna have to remove. I was gonna say Wilt,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I'll remove Larry Bird.
So Larry Bird, the one that you move.
Yes,
Okay.
He's the one I'm removing now, because Steph obviously has more rings
Mm-hmm.
than Larry Bird now, and I think the way Steph has been dominating the league, with his skills, with his 3-point shooting, I think is far better than how Larry Bird has ever did,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. When you could demoralize each and every single team that you face.
I mean, Larry Bird did that too. Demoralizing teams, he absolutely did that.
Not the way I don't think he did it the way Steph Curry did.
Well, obviously not the way he does it now, but back in the day, absolutely.
Not the way
Absolutely.
not the way Steph Curry has. Bro, when you have to double team somebody beyond the 3-point line, that's a clear indication that you are
Absolutely, but
way
that's part of the evolution of the game. But when you talk about demoralizing teams, Larry Bird did that as good as anybody, and he would trash talk you crazy while doing it. Like I've watched videos and stories about Larry Bird. That dude's a bad boy.
All right, your turn. Who are you removing?
I'm Bill Russell on this list. I'm removing Bill Russell. I'm
Oh,
sorry, I am.
you're nuts. You need to let Bill Russell be.
No,
He has 11 championships. Just because you didn't see it, just because you weren't born at the time, that doesn't mean
it's not that. Cause
that.
not that. I didn't see none of Larry Bird's championships either. I didn't see Larry Bird championships. I didn't see all of Kareem championships.
So why did
I didn't see all of Larry of Magic championships.
their championships mean more than Bill Russell's?
I'm not saying they mean more, but it's like I have to look at the totality of the situation. Like Bill Russell, like he's a pioneer, absolutely. But in their time, like I would argue, Will was a better player. Like, but it's just that Russell was on a better team and he was the best player on that team.
Hmm.
But again, he won a championship where there were like six teams in the league. Like, I'm sorry, like and you look at the way the game is played now, right? And you look at where the league has been. Like, okay, all right. Let me give you the case for everyone else on the team on here, right? All right, Michael Jordan. That's fucking obvious. To me, LeBron James is obvious. The best play. He's been one of the best players in the league for what the 20 year that he's been in the league, and he's still going strong today. Longevity.
He was the best penalty for all 20 straight years. You know that.
Not maybe not all 20 years, but he's been a great player for all his career.
Yeah, that I agree with.
All right, Kareem, right? He obviously he won with the Lakers, he won with the Bucks. all-time leading scorer. So like that to me that's obvious. Like let me skip over Russell for a second. Let me go to Magic. Magic and I'll put Magic and Bird in the same sentence, right? Those two revolutionized the game as far as how it's covered and how it's portrayed in the in globally, right? Like their rivalry made the NBA great where during the 80s.
Hmm.
So that goes without saying, right? Will Chamberlain, one of the arguably you look at his stats, he's arguably one of the most dominant player of all time. Arguably one of the most dominant players of all time. Now,
Yes.
if you told me if you want to keep Russ and take out Wilt, then I wouldn't have an argument with you because the championships and when it comes to in that case, if you want to put championships over personal accomplishments, then I'm not going to argue with you heavy over it. I'm not going to argue with you heavy over it, right? Tim Duncan, like dude won 5 rings. One the greatest power forward of all time. Great offensively, great defensively.
And he was so dominant that he never missed the playoff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He
That's,
never he
that's
never missed the playoffs. He always had. I think he averaged like 60 wins in his whole entire career.
yeah, that's true. That's true. And then you look at Kobe Bryant, 5 championship rings, one of the greatest scorers of all time, number two shooting guard of all time behind Michael, and then Shaq,
I could
one of
have
the most. Hmm?
I could have sworn you said Dwayne Wade was number two.
No, I put Dwayne Wade number three. Dwayne Wade number three in my opinion.
Okay.
Then you have Shaq, 4 championship rings. At one point the most dominant player in the history of the game. At one point, you can argue that, and like so. The thing with Bill Russell is not that I don't look at and cherish his accomplishments. It's just that like he did it in a time where it was easier to do. It's easier to do that. You can't win a Olympic championship now, no matter how great you are. You can't do that.
Wait, it was a lot easier to do.
Yeah,
So you punishing him for that, but you're not punishing Kevin Durant. Made it so much easier doing those two
I mean,
championships.
how many championships does he have ultimately?
Who?
Kevin Durant.
Two.
He has two.
Yeah.
Even at that time, like it's not hard. It wasn't easy. It's not like what Russell did will never be accomplished, but the circumstances surround everything that went on with Russell and his Boston Celtics team made it easier for him. It just was. It just circumstances. It's just how it goes. Just like how in baseball, Babe Ruth, right? One of the greatest players of all time. But can I simply ignore the fact that he played in a league that didn't allow black players? I can't dismiss that.
Well, we don't really have that many black players now, so I don't know if that's a really good
No, no,
excuse.
no, 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 no. They weren't allowed to play, and there was a lot more black players playing baseball back in the day than they are now, by a lot.
Hmm.
And because of their skin, they weren't allowed to play.
Right.
So like like again, he's a benefactor of the circumstances that he grew up in. Again, it's not. I'm not trying to take nothing away from him, but if you're telling me the accomplishments of what Steph Curry is doing right now, right, with the way he's shooting the ball, how far he's shooting the ball, with the way that he does his work, is more impressive than what Bill Russell's doing. Like I have to say yes.
You mean Steph Curry?
Yeah, what Steph Curry's doing, I have to say yes. Like I have to say yes, and I'm sorry I can't just give Bill Russell a pass on being one of the greatest because like I said because he only played in the league that had a few teams and like they won the championship. They were in the finals, automatic finals contenders every year because of it. I just find what Steph Curry's doing more impressive. And hell, I find what all these guys have done more impressive because they have to do it in an era where there's more competition, when they're better players, and it's just how it is, man. That's just how I feel.
Hmm.
So
So like I said before, because he didn't compete as much, those championships really doesn't mean that much to you.
I'm not in my eyes. I'm not saying they don't mean anything. I'm just saying that it was just the way that it looks. It just looks easier. And I look at how all those other guys won their championship. I think it was just done a lot harder and more impressive.
Hmm.
So
Okay. All right. So let's go back to to the finals.
hmm let's go to Boston. Like I'm looking at the stats here,
Yeah,
and
I can't see anything.
my bad. No, it should be there. Oh yeah, hold on, my bad. Let me put it back up. Okay, so we look at the finals right here, and this is like I said, man. Everyone can talk about Al Horford and Robert Williams and Marcus Smart, all these other people. The guy who needed to have a big game was Jason Tatum, and he didn't. And he didn't. 13 points. That's not enough. That's not enough, man. And to me, I think he's tired. Obviously, I think he's tired because this is the most basketball he's ever played. But 13 points, not enough, man. Not enough.
He he I think two things played a huge factor. I think one was fatigue.
Hmm.
I honestly think fatigue was a huge issue, which is why I said this is the reason why I did not criticize Steve Kerr to give Steph Curry a rest. I never believe in the philosophy of having a short rotation and not use your bench players. I never believed in that because your star players would become a liability since they're too exhausted to play and actually make plays. They're not robots. They're not cyborgs. So for you to ask them to play 40 plus minutes with no
Well,
rest.
here's the thing. Like Andrew Wiggins played 44 minutes. Draymond Green played 42 minutes. Klay Thompson played 41 minutes. Steph Curry played 40 minutes.
Hmm. But Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, they all still got their rest.
I mean, not that much rest.
I
They
mean,
played 30 plus minutes.
Steph Curry didn't play in the fourth quarter until there was like 7 minutes left.
I guess, but they had, but like you said, the guy, like and then here, Jason Tatum played 40, Horford played 39, and Jalen Brown played 44. Marcus Smart played 36. Like these is what happens when in the finals, your rotation shortens a little bit.
Yeah, but I never really believed that you should your rotation.
Mhm.
Now Tatum, he also had a huge foul problem. He had like 3 fouls in the first half,
Okay.
and you know, so he did. But I think him sitting down he probably lost a lot of rhythm. But I also think the reason why is simply because Steph Curry and everybody else, they had experience, winning in one of the biggest stages, of their career. And to me, I think Tatum. I don't want to use the word choke, but well, maybe I can use the word choke because he didn't do anything. The guy, pretty much didn't do anything. I mean,
No,
seven,
I wouldn't go that far.
seven assists. Yeah, that's nice.
Mhm.
That's fine. But when you have all these turnovers, yeah, you're not playing at your best at all. Like I don't really did he even have like an outstanding game in this whole series? I don't think he did.
A signature game, no, no. Like I mean, his numbers are good. He has good numbers. The problem is that when your team needs you the most, you gotta play better, and he knows that you gotta play better.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this stat sheet.
Hmm.
For goodness sakes, like even Darren White didn't play well.
Yeah, but I mean, Derek White is Derek White. That's who he is. Like you have guys who are who they are. Like that's why it's like, well, when people say Horford has to play better. Yeah, he has to play better, but he's not the reason why they're losing. Like even today, he had 19 points and 14 rebounds. He did his job.
Yeah, he
You
did
know,
more. He did more than enough.
yeah, he did more than enough. I said that in order for them to win Game 7, they need their two stars to show up, and Jalen Brown showed up. You know what I mean? They got a good performance from from Al Horford. The guy who needed to show up was Jason Tatum, and he didn't.
Nope, nope, he did not. He did not. Now I still, I'm not. A lot of people had, especially on social media, had removed him from superstar status.
No,
I think he's a superstar.
I do too.
I think he's definitely a superstar. The only problem is that he really needs to work on his freaking turnovers. That dude was acting like Russell Westbrook in this in the NBA Finals, just constantly turning the ball over, being careless, throwing awful passes. I mean, like, what is this guy doing? Like, is he freaking out because he's in the NBA Finals? And I understand that things when things don't go your way, you have to be desperate. This is an elimination game. I get it, but bro, like, stop acting all wild and crazy. Like, just be aggressive and try to freaking score. But man, that guy was just out of control with the ball, completely out of control. Like, I wish you had actually saw the game of how he was playing. That dude was not playing well at all.
Yeah, he struggled. He struggled, and it is what it is. That to give Golden State credit for playing great defense, but ultimately, like Golden State's a better team. They're a better team. Like that's just how it is.
So the question I that I had for you was that do you think Boston needs to get like an extra piece, or you think they're fine just the way they are?
Well, obviously they need an extra piece. Like obviously they need an extra piece. They need a ball handler. They need either they need a point guard or they need Brown and Tatum to be better with handling the ball. That's what they need.
I think Braun is doing just fine. Tatum is the one that needs to, hold the ball more and not get all careless. With his ball handling. I think he needs to work on that more.
Well, both of them do because when in the Heat series, like obviously Tatum would turn the ball over a lot, but so was Brown. So is Brown. So they both need to work on their ball handling. But if they want to add somebody, they're probably gonna need to add like a point guard or something like that. Because like I said, we don't know how good Al Horford's gonna be next year. Like he's old, right? And Marcus Smart, like he's a good player, but I don't think he's the type of player who should be. No, I guess he's fine where he's at, but I don't think he should be. He shouldn't be your primary scoring option.
Well, I mean he's you could wait. Isn't he like the third best player?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, he's still, if he's gonna be your third best player, yeah, he's gonna be, you know, you're gonna have to need him to score. You
I don't
need him
know.
to score.
Well, I mean, yeah, from time to time, yeah, but like I don't think he can be a primary scoring option for you. I think he's too inconsistent.
Yeah, he was being very emotional in the game too. I'm surprised he didn't get a technical, but yeah, he was being very emotional. He was fouling too much. Also,
Mhm.
Tatum was fouling, too much, and yeah, it just didn't. They the Golden State had that game under control after the first quarter.
Yeah, yeah. I think they went on a big run, and it was over. Like after that, you can tell it was over. Like Boston, they did their best to come back, but it's
Every time when they tried to come back, Steph Curry would hit a big shot.
yeah,
Poole, also played well. I was very impressed how he played.
yeah, played well. But
Very.
yeah, but I mean, on that note, I think we can pretty much be over with it. You have any final thoughts?
Um, well, not really. I just want to, just say, congratulations, to. Hang on a second. I want to say, congratulations to Golden State, and I'm actually, the reason why I'm so proud is because now I don't have to hear idiots like Skip Bayless and who else I think Wiles from First Thing First saying, oh, and Colin Cowherd also,
Mhm.
Guys kept discrediting Steph Curry because he had Kevin Durant.
You know who else did that? You know who else did that?
I think Stephen A.
No, your boy Max Kellerman.
Are you sure
Mm-hmm. Same thing.
he did the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I guess you're right. I guess
You watch his show?
the thing is, like, I actually enjoy watching a show. The thing is, it's so freaking early, man.
Yeah. Okay. What
You know,
about his second show?
I didn't even know he had a second show.
Yeah, he had a second show.
What time does that show start?
Not 2 o'clock mainly.
Yeah, I'm still at work. How is it?
This fine. Like it's what you expect. It's fine. This is what you expect. But okay,
Okay, so
so
what? So okay. Crap. What was the question I wanted to ask you? What was the question? What was the question? What was the question? What was the question? Well, I can't remember. I can't remember the question. But
was it about somebody?
hmm.
Was it about Steph Curry?
Oh no. Okay. It was okay. Yeah. It was about Kevin Durant. Now,
Mhm.
do you finally agree?
So even though he's not in the finals, and he's been out of the playoffs since round one, but we're
No.
my
Wait. Hold on. You did the exact same thing.
no, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
What I do?
You did the exact same thing.
What I
I don't.
do?
I don't know if you could see this, but
Yes,
there.
yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, I'm only putting it up there because of yeah, I'm just really really happy for this team. Like Steph Curry, he missed the playoffs like I think twice in a row, like that you mentioned, right?
Mm-hmm.
He missed the playoffs. Oh, I think this is the wrong freaking picture.
What,
Whatever.
what, what were you gonna ask me?
Now that he once again proved that he could win, without KD,
Hmm.
does this change your opinion when it comes to Kevin Durant going to the Golden State Warriors?
No, why would it?
Because it continues to prove once again now that he won after Kevin Durant leaves. Doesn't that mean that Kevin Durant's rings with Golden State was just
No,
fraudulent?
no, no. What it does is more. It continues to solidify what a great organization Golden State is.
No. I don't. No, I'm talking about Kevin Durant.
I'm not talking about Kevin Durant.
No, I'm talking about Kevin.
I don't care about Kevin Durant.
That's the question I asked you.
But my point has always been regarding the organization. It had nothing to do with Durant.
Oh, come on.
It-
Anybody, do you honestly think that if any other team had an opportunity to sign Kevin Durant, that they would have signed him? They
no
would have
shit,
signed him.
no shit. They would. But the facts are that the best team in the league did. They did.
Yeah, because Draymond Green begged them to come there to
All
go
right.
there.
Well, okay, okay. And who cares? The fact is, they got there with him. They won a couple championships. He leaves, and they got back. They got back to the finals and won it.
Okay, so what does this mean now that Steph Curry won a championship without Kevin Durant?
He already did it already.
What does this mean?
It means that he obviously is one of the greatest players of all time. That would have been the case regardless of who his teammates are. And two, it tells you that the Golden State Warriors are a great organization.
Does this mean that would you put Steph Curry ahead of Kevin Durant right now?
As far as historically, yes.
No,
Yeah,
no, 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 no. Right now, like, is he better than Kevin Durant?
like right now,
Yes, right now. What do you know? I mean, what am I talking about last year? No, I'm talking about right now. The fact that he was able to win another championship without him and dominate the league at like he did. Because remind you, they were the first seed for quite a while.
mhm,
And this was without Clay Thompson when they were the number one seed. He was dominating the league without Clay Thompson,
okay.
right? Now he eventually, I think they went down to the third seed, I believe. Was it third
Mhm.
seed or second
Yeah, yeah,
seed?
thirsty, thirsty.
Yeah, third. Oh yeah, yeah, because Memphis took over. Now he won a championship, Finals, league MVP. Doesn't this mean that he is better than Kevin Durant?
I historically yes, and when you look at this, and when you look at the series that he had, I mean they both played the same team, and
Right?
Curry dominated, and
Yes. I'm waiting for you to say it. Go ahead.
Durant didn't. But
Huh? Wait, what?
and Durant didn't, and Durant didn't.
Okay, so who's better?
If I'm picking who's better, I'm still picking Durant. I'm still picking Durant. Like I said, because I don't know if that series is either him declining
Oh no!
or is it that series.
Wait! Hold on! Wait! No, it was he just was not better. Okay, the team that he couldn't win not one game. Steph Curry beat that team in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
like what? Like, and all honesty, having no, what more proof could you possibly need? Where you have a guy who changed the culture, where you had the guy who basically is the best shooter of all time, who surpassed Reggie Miller and Ray Allen by a mile. And he will continue to pass him because he's not going to retire until like what, maybe 4 or 5 years, 6 years. So he's going to destroy Ray Allen and Reggie Miller's 3-point shooting. The same guy who had a unanimous MVP, the same guy who's being double teamed. I don't know any other player in league history that gets double teamed beyond the 3-point line, who could dismantle a defense. The guy who has amazing, ball. And I don't care what anyone says about his defense. I think his defense is underrated, severely underrated.
I mean, he's a better defender now than he was a couple years ago. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, for a guy to be this dominant, and you would still say that he's not better than Kevin Durant.
When they're healthy, when Kevin Durant's healthy, I think that his game is better than Steph Curry's game. That's it. That has nothing to do with nothing to do with Steph Curry. That has nothing. It's not a shot at Steph Curry. The fact is, the reason why you're so obsessed about this is because you don't like Kevin Durant and you like the fact that he won the championship without him, which is fine. It's not a big deal to me. To me, I just want to see how Kevin Durant is next year before I decide, before I decide what his future holds.
You said that Kevin Durant had a phenomenal year the year before when he about him stepping on a tiptoe on the 3-point line,
Mm-hmm.
and now he got swept this year. I think that is more than enough time to determine who the best player is. That's more than enough. Why do
No,
you need 3 years for?
no, no, I don't think so because you go off of who wins the championships and you just pick the best player and say, oh, he's the best. Well, he's the best player. What you do is lazy. What you do is lazy.
No, what you're doing is what you're doing is you don't like giving people a fair shake. That's
No,
what you like to do. Yes.
I'm just going by how they perform. That's it. I'm just going by how they perform
Okay.
and whether or not their performance can be the same. But look, anybody can have a bad series. Anybody can have a bad stretch of games.
Okay, but you cannot tell me having um a game to where you can even win not one game. That's acceptable for a superstar at his caliber.
No, it's not. It's not acceptable for a superstar of his caliber. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Right.
But I give more credit to Boston than I do him struggling. I give Boston all the credit. And like I said before, like I have to see because like obviously I don't know if he's healthy or not or whatever, but I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, he's nothing special now because he lost. Like no, like Giannis lost. I don't think any less of him as a player. If I had to pick a team, if I had to pick a player to start a team with, I'm still picking Giannis over Steph. I
No,
still am.
what's going on, F?
How you doing?
Big shout out to you. I know it's late, but yet you're still here. I appreciate you so much. But we're pretty much going to wrap this up. We're just having this one last discussion real quick. The thing is, having no the reason why what I do is what I do is I look at what they do at the whole entire year. Your problem is when you analyze players, whoever is the best player in the league, you stick to that one guy, whether if he wins or not. That's your problem. You stick to that one guy. Me, I looked at what he does for the whole entire season and what he does in the finals.
No,
That
you
was the
no,
that
you
was
didn't
the
pick
reason.
the best
That was
player.
the reason
You didn't
why
pick the best player on
that
the championship team, and you
that
say he's the best player.
that
That's all you do.
that was the reason why I said that Steph Curry was the best player in 2015. And then when he beat the Bulls record, I said,
Even
okay,
though, all right, even though the best player in that series in 2015 was LeBron and not Steph.
no, it was Steph Curry.
No, it was LeBron James. You look at the number. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. LeBron James across was better than Steph Curry in that series.
Yeah, you could say that if you want to,
Okay, then
but
why would I then
but
if I know
dominating the
that
league,
if I know that if I know that then why would I say
he
that
had a
Steph
bigger
Curry is better
impact.
than LeBron James?
He had a bigger impact in the whole season than LeBron James did.
Yeah, he did. That doesn't mean that LeBron James wasn't great.
No, but it just means that he was surpassed. I think
Even though he was a better player in the series.
here's the problem. With what you do. I mean, here's the problem with what you do. When somebody is having an amazing year, right, and especially if they win a championship, you still don't want to give that dude props. You don't. You don't.
For,
Because
for,
when Steph Curry lost the championship against LeBron James, I went back to LeBron James because he beat the guy who
yeah,
was
what you picked the best player on the championship team. That's what you did.
okay, but okay, that's fine because he's the champion and he won the ultimate goal that everybody else trying to do by
Then
winning the championship.
when I say that you just picked the best player on the best team, then and that's being lazy. That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
That's not being lazy.
Yeah, it is.
That's being realistic.
No, it's being lazy. All you're doing is just picking the best player on the best team.
You
There's
you
nobody in the world that will
pick
pick
who's
Dirk over LeBron James. Yes or no? There's nobody in the world, no matter how much respect you have for Dirk Nowitzki's game. There ain't nobody in the world that's picking Dirk Nowitzki over LeBron James. They're
who
either they're haters or they're dumbasses.
no, I
One
never
or,
say
one or
I
not,
I, I
or
never I
both.
didn't say anything about LeBron James. I said Dwayne Wade.
I don't care. Look, in that finals, Dwayne Wade was better than Dirk Nowitzki. Also,
Now,
he's
now
better
you
than him.
you,
Also,
you, you don't know what you're talking
no,
about, man.
no. I guarantee you, if the Heat won that series, Dwayne Wade would have been the MVP. He was the best player in the series. He was. The problem is that LeBron James played like garbage for his standard, right? And then I look at the hell. I can't even look back to Detroit and LA. Who's the best player in that series? Magic Johnson. I don't give a shit if Detroit won the championship. Magic Johnson is the best player in the series. So obviously I'm gonna pick him over anybody on the team. Period. You can tell who the best player in the NBA are. You can tell. And I'm not going to just switch from player to player just because they're on a better team. I'm not doing that.
No, it doesn't have to be on a better team. Even when they were evenly matched, even if the team was evenly matched. To me, this series it was pretty much evenly matched to me. You have Steph Curry, you have Tatum, you have Jalen Brown, you have Clay Thompson,
And
you
you
have
and,
you have
and
you
you
have
know
Marcus Smart, and you have Draymond Green, you have Al Horford, and you have Poole. That team, both those anyone could have easily won that series in my opinion.
who's the best who and before the series started, who's the best player in the series?
Steph Curry,
And would that have changed if Jason Tatum won the championship?
no,
I don't buy that. I don't buy that.
no.
I don't buy that because
If,
you I
if
because
Jason
you
Tatum if Jason Tatum won the championship, I would have still said it was either Steph Curry or Giannis, like I've always
I,
did.
I don't buy that.
No,
I
I'm for
don't
real.
buy that.
Yeah, I'm serious.
I legit don't buy
Because
that.
because if I was just picking guys who won a championship and won the Finals MVP, then I would have said that Iguodala was the best player, and I would have said that Paul Pierce was the best player. I didn't do that. When Detroit won the championship against Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. I know nobody would say that Chauncey Billups was the best player.
Okay, that's my overall point. I'm not just going by who's the best player on the best team. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, but I'm talking about who had an elite dominating season, right? And if that same guy wins the championship, why not say that he's the best player in the league? I don't see the problem. I don't see a problem with that. I really don't.
There's lots of factors that goes into it. There's lots of factors that go into it.
Yeah,
The,
that's yeah,
the
that's yeah.
team, how
But having a you're guilty of doing the exact same thing because you said the Kawhi was the best player when he won the championship.
yeah, because he made the most impact on the team.
Okay, but
Yeah,
he but
no, no, okay, let's go back. Let's go back to Kawhi Leonard, right? Since you mentioned him, he
Mhm.
gets traded to Toronto, right? Look, it was obvious he didn't want to be there, but he was there because they traded him to Toronto. And
Mhm.
in 1 year, Toronto went from being a contender who couldn't get over the hump to the NBA Finals. And
Yes,
what changed? What changed? One
Kawhi.
guy changed. Yeah, yeah, and he came off of winning Finals MVP for the Spurs in 2014 to really being the best. Really was on the verge of being from really giving Golden State a challenge until he got hurt with the dirty play by Pachulia, and then he rarely played for the Spurs again. Went through all the drama and then got traded. Right?
But wasn't there 1 year gap between the two though?
Uh, yeah, I think you're right. Who did they lose to the following year?
Wasn't that because I don't think he played right. I don't think he played at all. Because I'm trying to remember because remember when everybody was talking trash about him and how he didn't want to
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, but I
wasn't
thought that
wasn't that a year after the dirty play?
could have been.
Wasn't that the
Could have been.
following year?
It could have been, but the fact. Well, okay, but okay, that could have been. But here's what I'm trying to say, right? When
No,
you
yeah,
look,
it had to have been the following year because that was the playoff game when he got hurt.
yeah, 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 and I thought he got hurt against Golden State.
Yeah, when he got hurt against Golden State, um, and then he didn't want to go back and play. That's when all the trash talking with
Yeah,
Tony Parker. Yeah, that was a year after.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So all right, so then he goes to Toronto. Obviously, he plays great,
Yeah,
and then you look at the totality of the year, he was the difference maker. He was the difference maker. And again, this came off of. I'm not just saying this off of just one year. Like he had a year where he was the best player in the series against Miami, and then he goes to Toronto. He's the best player for Toronto, and it's not a shocker that they go all the way to the final the first year he's there.
yeah,
So that's why I figured, this dude is the best. And also you also have to take into account. I have a bias towards two-way players. If you are a great two-way player, I'm going to think highly of you than someone who's just a dominant player on one end of the floor. I've always felt that way.
yeah. But remember, I just want you to remember by you saying that you're also saying he's better than LeBron James and Kevin Durant that year.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Because he may not he don't touch LeBron offensively, but defensively he was better.
Yes, I agree for sure.
So and plus he did whatever he wanted offensively also. You know what I mean? So yeah, but I always give props to guys who are more two-way players than just someone who's dominant offensively. And let's be frank, like Steph Curry's not dominant off defensively. He's not as bad as people make him out to be defensively, but he's not
Yeah,
dominant.
not even close. I think his defense is really decent in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, and also people need to forget now Steph Curry may look small on TV next to everyone else, but he's not a small guy. He's not small. Like he's 6'3", and he has some muscle to him.
Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to bring up. real quick. You see how he also built muscle the
Yeah,
same way the same way Giannis did.
yeah, but he had well, yeah, but like Giannis was Giannis like both of them had to. Both of them had to.
And I think that Kevin Durant needs to do the same thing.
I mean, if you look at Kevin Durant then and now, I think he's bigger now than he was when he came into the league. But he's not. But he's a skinny guy. Like he's just naturally skinny. That's just who he is. He's just naturally skinny.
Yeah.
And I was watching his highlights. Like, dude, let me tell you something, man. That dude was an athletic freak back before the Achilles injury. That dude was athletic as hell. Yeah, I think you need to go back and watch some of those highlights.
No. He was.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was.
but but
But
but
but
yeah,
I just think that he needs to do exactly what Kobe Bryant did, what what Giannis did, Steph Curry, build some muscle, work on your conditioning, and I think it would drastically improve his game. But
we're
but
gonna get better teammates too. But
but I also do think that winning championships does matter. Now I know you disagree with this, but when Kobe Bryant won those back to back championships, I know you said that even at that time LeBron was the best player, but I think LeBron became the best player in the whole entire league by default when he went to Miami. I think you have to give Kobe Bryant a fair shake when he won those two championships, and I feel the exact same way with Kawhi. We agree with Kawhi. Now I don't remember if you said Giannis was the best player when he won. I can't
no,
remember if
I thought I picked Giannis number one a couple years before he won. But what stopped me from giving him the number one spot lately was the free throw was the free throw shooting.
when
It was
Miami
the free
started
throw
the
shooting.
countdown.
Hmm?
When Miami started that countdown.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I figured that at some point, bro, you gotta be a better. You gotta be a better one. You gotta be a better shooter in general, and you got to be a free throw shooter. But he proved that he don't really need it.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to say. Yeah.
He don't really need it. Even though I think it'll help him, but he don't really necessarily need it.
Yeah, he doesn't need it.
But
But
but the thing is that I don't look at being like, for example, you use Kobe, right? And I always said that when during those times I still thought LeBron James was the best player. But the thing is that being number two is not a bad thing, at least in my opinion. It's not a bad thing. Being number two is not a bad thing. Like that's something that for it seemed like to you being number two is a bad thing. I don't look at it that way.
mhm.
I don't look at it that way.
Yeah, okay.
Just because just because I don't think you're the best player in the league doesn't mean that I don't think you're that doesn't mean I think you're bad. No.
Okay, so yeah, all right. Well, so on that note, I guess we could end it here. I didn't expect for us to talk for an hour. I thought it was just gonna be like at most 40 minutes. But I still enjoyed myself. I just want to congratulate Golden State one more time. Steph Curry, you are the man. You are one of the best of the best. He is clearly top 10 in my book,
Yeah,
and
true.
I do think yeah, I do think there is a good potential chance that he could do a repeat, and this is a stretch, and I do not think it's going to happen. But
Mhm.
if he repeats, he's top five. He's
All
top
right.
five. He's top five. So, but anyway, that's for another day. Again, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, but
Congratulations. Go
yeah,
ahead.
congratulations to Steph Curry. So congratulations to the Warriors. They deserve it. Now, regarding Monday's show, we're gonna be talking like again. I bought the Turtles game. Like I said, I gotta send you a link if you can get a digital copy. I mean, not a physical copy for you personally.
Mhm.
Okay, I know you're gonna get on the Switch. So I already know that. So
Yes.
um, yeah, and then I know you also have Mario Striker that you wanted to review.
Hmm.
Um, there's a bunch of other stuff we'll talk about on Monday. So be on the lookout for our show Monday. I don't think I'm gonna be going anywhere. So we should be fine there. But on that note, that was the overtime edition of the Overrated Podcast. This will be 186. I'm out.
Right. Oh, it looks like we had a comment. It's going to be crazy. Oh, that's right. I forgot that you're all the way. You're in California right now. Yeah,
Oh, careful.
you're in California right now. Yeah, it's going to be
Well, what
really
part of
crazy.
California is he from?
Right now, he's in. Is it San Francisco?
Because if he's in San Francisco, then yeah, he needs to be careful.
Yeah.
He definitely needs to be careful. Because let me tell you something. Like California, I know a lot of people look at that place. You know, I'm in the Bay Area. Yeah, and be careful.
Hmm.
Be careful. Because the one thing that's not talked about often about San Francisco, that place is dangerous. Dudes will pull up on you real quick in that area.
Oh gosh.
So, so yeah, so be careful. And plus, they just won a championship. I don't know if they're as crazy as Laker fans when it comes to destroying the city, but yeah, be careful, bro. Be careful.
They completely demolish the city every time they win championships.
It's so stupid. You're destroying your own city.
Right. The city that you just won, but yet it's time to destroy it. That just made no sense to me. But yeah. But before we get sidetracked. Yeah. Be careful. F. Um. You know. I got your back, man. I appreciate for all
You're
the
gonna have it
support.
back all the way in South Florida.
I got your back, man.
You
I got,
spiritual.
yeah, spiritually, sure. I got your back, man. But yeah, Steph Curry, you are the man. You are incredible. I am labeling you the best player in the league right now. Giannis is just right behind you. Those are my top two guys. Those are my top two guys. But after all that being said, this is the Traditionalist 101 signing out. Have a good one.
We won 6. We out. They said LOL, good deal. So all right,
Yeah.
all right, guys, we're out of here. Peace.